Hi, my name is Chris Lyons. I'm a regional chef on the East Coast, and I'm coming to you today from the test kitchen here at home office. Today I would like to share one of my favorite yeast dough recipes that I like to use in the community. This is a great recipe. It's fail-safe, it's proven, it's tested. You can find it under the recipe reb under 11391. So let's get started. For this recipe, we want to start with 3 pounds of water. You would like this water to be somewhere between 95 degrees and 104 degrees. If it's more than 104 degrees, then you're going to end up killing the yeast, and then we would have to start the dough all over again. Next, we would like to add 8 ounces of sugar to our bowl. Next is 8 ounces of vegetable oil. You can use canola oil, you can use olive oil for a little bit different flavor if you would like. And then the last thing to bowl right now would be 1.5 ounces of salt. As you can see, we're not adding the yeast to the dough right now. We're going to go ahead and add the yeast to the dough on top of this 5 pounds, 4 ounces of flour that I'm adding into the bowl right now. The reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want the yeast to touch the salt or the sugar in this recipe because it might kill the active yeast that's in the bowl right now. So after everything is inside of our bowl, we're going to go ahead and turn it on low speed. This should take about 4 to 5 minutes for everything to come together. We will go ahead and get this mixer started on low. It is going to continue to mix until the dough separates from the bowl cleanly. After stopping the machine, you can see as I'm touching it, it's very tacky and sticky. It should not be sticking to my hands like it is right now. So what we're going to have to do is just add a little bit more flour. This is due probably because of the humidity in the room that we're in right now. You should always have a little bit extra flour on hand just in case this happens. So we can just add a little bit more flour. It looks like right now I'm adding maybe 1/4 cup to the mix right now. We're going to go ahead and turn the mixer bowl back on, and hopefully it's going to come to the consistency that we would like. Now that we've turned the machine off, we should be able to touch this dough again, and it should be tacky, but it should not be sticking to my hands. We're going to go ahead and transfer this dough into a different container. And you would like to transfer this dough into a clean container, something that's going to be about double the size of what your dough is now, so it's going to have room for it to rise. The dough should come out of the bowl relatively easily because as you were mixing it, it was separating by itself. So it should come out in one piece. And what you're going to want to do is you want to take a piece of plastic wrap and cover this container up. And you want to put this into a warm place in your kitchen, preferably on top of the steamer. And then you're going to want this to ferment for 90 minutes. So after 90 minutes of fermenting, this dough should be ready to be punched down. I'm going to go ahead and take this cover off of it. We want to punch it down just to release some of the gases. And what you can go ahead and do is just dip it right out onto your board. And this dough is ready to be portioned out into our rolls. As you can see, I'm not wearing gloves for this. It's nearly impossible to wear gloves when you're trying to work with a yeast dough. So just make sure that your hands are very clean during this process. Now we are ready to go ahead and make our standard rolls. What I like to do is just cut a large log out of this one larger dough. I like to try to make it relatively even on all the sides, and what you want to try to do is you want to try to cut approximately 1.5 ounces of a dough for each roll. I'm using a knife here. You can also feel free to use a metal bench scraper if you have one in your community. And to roll my rolls, I like to take my hands in a cupping position and then just roll them around. They're going to be basically rolling around the outsides of your hands, and what it's going to be doing, it's going to be folding the rolls in on themselves. So when they're done, they should be two perfectly round cylinders. And then I like to space them out about 1 inch so that when they do rise up, they end up touching each other after they bake. So that it gives that nice moist four sides of a roll. And now that we have a full tray of rolls ready, just go ahead and take this and put it back into that warm place that we had them fermenting in earlier today. Now that our rolls have risen for the final time, they are now ready to go into a 350-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. One last final touch that you can do to these rolls, you can actually take the knife and you can go ahead and make 4 crosses in them. So then after they rise up in the oven for the final time, they will actually have a nice decorative look to them when they come out. So then these are going to go directly into the 350-degree oven. So after 10 to 15 minutes in the oven, the rolls are coming out. They have a nice golden brown look to them. As you can see, some of the different shapes that we made during the forming process. So what we do from here is that we're just putting them directly into our basket for either going out to a coffee bar or going out to our dining room for service every day. And this is your standard roll.